Hey trainers, Michael here, and today is my Pokemon Go Plus review. So the first three things I'm going to point out are pretty much if this doesn't apply to you, then do not buy the Pokemon Go Plus. So if you're thinking about it, if any one of these is works for you, that's great. It's probably worth getting the Pokemon Go Plus. If none of these work for you, then you probably don't want to get the Pokemon Go Plus. And you'll understand why as I go through my review. So, if you do not live in a big city with a park that has at least four Pokestops or a area of town that has four Pokestops all on top of each other pretty much in the same block, you're not going to want to buy the Pokemon Go Plus. If you do not work or literally live on top of a Pokestop, do not buy the Pokemon Go Plus. Now, if you at least are in a bigger town that has a few Pokestops in the area, that's fine. But if you have none of these, if you're not by Pokestops or can't get to a large area of Pokestops, do not buy the Plus. And I repeat that strongly. Mostly because you will never have enough balls to play this game otherwise. So, first we're going to start off on the negatives. We're going to go to some basic and then some really good reasons why I like the Pokemon Go Plus. So, first thing, while driving, you can almost never get a reward for a Pokestop unless you are stopped at a light or an intersection right next to one, or the game bugs and thinks you're still technically next to a Pokestop. I've only hit a couple of Pokestops while I've been driving at 35 miles an hour that, even though I was a half a block to a block past the Pokestop, it still registered as a fluke and gave me the items. Once the Pokestop is in the arc of your person, in a visual realm of looking at the game, you usually still have to wait about 15 seconds before you can claim a Pokestop. This does sometimes speed up. Sometimes I've literally walked into the ring and within range of the Pokestop and it's been a couple of seconds, but most of the time there is a delay. This is probably due to the distance tracking and everything, but there's a delay. So unless you're really on top of a lot of Pokestops for a while, it's kind of not worth using the Pokemon Go Plus. I do not like that I can only use Pokeballs and they have a low chance to catch Pokemon. I understand that as I level up, these Pokeballs have the same chance to catch Pokemon as they normally do, but I just get higher level Pokemon and they spawn more frequently, and just using regular Pokeballs isn't cutting it. Also, as mentioned, the ideas I spoke of before at the very beginning of this recording, you need to restock Pokeballs a lot. About every other day, I walk for about 30 minutes around a loop of 8 Pokestops to get about 50 to 100 Pokeballs. And if in a normal day at work or just driving around town, sitting at home, I go through about 100 regular Pokeballs every day, which means, yeah, I'm going up in items and then lose them really fast. And that's just because, yeah, you're having an opportunity to catch a lot of Pokemon, but with just using Pokeballs, you don't have a great chance. And there's a ton more Pokemon out there in the world than you think, so you're throwing balls a lot. One of the kind of reasons to own a Plus. When I checked back through my journal, I noticed that for me, most of the Pokemon I catch with the Plus are Pidgeys, Weedles, and Rattatas. Now, that's not amazing, but it is good for using a Lucky Egg and doing mass evolving. While I am sad about the amount of Pokemon that get away and what Pokemon they are that get away, I just keep telling myself over and over and over, I wouldn't have been able to catch most of these Pokemon if I didn't have the Plus. And that's just like driving to and from work, sitting at work. I can't pull out my phone, but at least with the Pokemon Go Plus, I have a small chance to catch one of these Pokemon. So, on to the pros, the really good reasons why I enjoy the Pokemon Go Plus. The ring of distance that Pokemon spawn in or is picked up by the Plus seems to be larger than the one on the screen of your phone. I can't confirm that to a great degree. It could just be drift, but when I'm at home, I there are very few Pokemon that spawn in my ring. Usually about one every hour and a half. For me, when I'm using the Pokemon Go Plus, I'm usually throwing a ball 3 to 4 times an hour, and that is because either the arc is larger or I keep drifting over to certain spawn areas in my block that spawn multiple Pokemon every hour. So these are one of the two things that are happening. Either way, it's good for me. Since you should not be driving and playing Pokemon Go, I love that the Plus allows me to do this without putting anyone in danger. I can literally just put the Plus over two of my fingers, just drive around, talk to people, sit out at on a Poke Date, just at a Starbucks or whatever, talk to people, and just get my Pokestop spin every 5 minutes or catch any Pokemon without ever looking at my phone. As a person that thinks it's kind of disrespectful to just have a conversation and be on your phone the whole time, I really like this. I love that while driving, I'm able to catch so many more Pokemon than I would have been able to, that I wouldn't have been able to catch normally. Just because when I'm driving, I usually go out with my wife. She operates both our phones at exactly the same time, so she's spinning Pokestops, catching Pokemon, but still, even while she's doing that, sometimes while she's spinning a Pokestop, I can be like, oh, a Pokemon spawned. I will try and catch it. And that all works at the same amount of time. And I get a little bit more than what she would because all she probably has time to is spin a Pokestop and get the reclaim before we hit the next Pokestop while driving. I also love that I can be driving and be very far past Pokemon, and the Plus will still give me a chance to catch it. A lot of times I am about a fourth of a block past where a Pokestop would be, and that's usually when the Pokemon are spawning at. All of a sudden the light pops green and I have a chance to catch. Sometimes this will do it before, and yes, Pokemon could spawn outside of the arc of the Pokestop, but I just find it that happens a lot, and where I usually catch Pokemon or where they usually spawn on my phone when we look at it, I'm usually past these points. But unlike Pokestops, you can't go outside their arc usually, and you can still get the Pokemon. I also love that I am able to work and leave my Plus in my pocket so I can catch a few more Pokemon than I otherwise would have been able to catch without the Plus. I also love that it tracks distance much better. I go out to lunch every so often at work, and when I go out, I travel about a mile to the place and back is total distance. And when I come back, a lot of times with the Plus on, I look down, I'm like, I got zero point 0.5, zero point 0.6, zero point 0.8 kilometers. I'm like, but I was driving most of the time past the speed limit that it allows to track. So the Plus is actually tracking the distance even though I'm going too fast because it doesn't notice it. So I love that. It is so useful when driving. I can go out for a day and go 15 kilometers driving and get 10 kilometers of it, and that's just unbelievable to me because I can hatch eggs so easily now. The Plus also speeds up normal gameplay, and I can't stress this enough. This is, other than the egg distance and the extra Pokemon I get, this is super wonderful. An example of this is I fight gyms a lot. I usually claim every day 10 gyms or 100 coins. When I go up to a gym and I need to take it down, I'm there for a bit, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it takes. And I'm sitting there, and when I fight the gym and I clear that the round of 6 or 5 or however many it is, and it goes back to the screen and I'm ready to click on the gym again, usually there's Pokemon spawning on top of gyms. And it's like, hey, there's a Pokemon spawn here. Would you like to catch it? And I'll go, yes. And then during my gym, there might be a couple more that spawn. So I catch a few Pokemon, and that way, when I am done fighting the gym, all I have to do is drive away. I don't have to sit there and be like, oh, there's three Pokemon, three Rattatas and Pidgeys right here. I want to sit here for a minute and catch them. No, I already had my chance. I might have had better chance of sitting there and doing spins and arcs and all of this stuff. But by just throwing one Pokeball at each Pokemon, it gives me a chance to catch them, and that way speeds up my entire gameplay so that I'm on to the next gym and I've had plenty of chances to catch other Pokemon while I waited. So, that is my overall review of the Pokemon Go Plus. I really enjoy it. It's borderline worth the $35. If you're someone that really likes to hatch eggs or speed up your time, it's definitely worth it. If you really want to use it to go by Pokestops and get items, this is not the thing. Walking or driving, using the Go Plus to get items from Pokestops is almost never effective. But catching all the Pokemon, as long as you have a good supply of Pokeballs, it's pretty great. So overall, I'll still give it my usual 3 out of 4 horseshoes. We're not completely shoeing the horse today, but I think it's good enough. It would be nice if it was improved upon. If we get a new iteration that is better. If there is, I'll totally give this one to my wife because she definitely gets angry now as we're driving around town. It just the Pokego Plus keeps going off. She's like, I wish we were driving slower so I could even see these Pokemon. But I like it either way. So enough this time. I will catch you guys next time, trainers.